I was really feeling drawn to painting today, actually, but the in-person Scribble Studio is still under renovation, so getting my paints out isn't really an option at this point. Instead, I just thought, okay, I'll use some of these water-soluble crayons, make a whole bunch of scribbles, and then use some water and see if I can make them into some paint. It's a bit of an experiment. I've done this maybe a couple times before. I normally just use these as crayons. Sometimes it looks like a smudgy mess. And that's okay for this kind of activity because that's what this is all about, experimenting and seeing what happens. So I'm so happy you're here with me today to do some of that experimenting. Just going with the flow of what comes out in these scribbles and then what comes out once I start doing the water, I guess. We shall see what happens there. I was drawn to mostly oranges and yellows today. So I'm going with that. With a few greens mixed in there. I do love this idea of experimenting. And I love how we can get some practice in experimenting with art. And if art feels like a scary term for you to say, oh, I'm going to do some art, it can be scary. There's some connotations with that. Like a piece of art has to be something that's beautiful or something that someone wants to purchase or means something. Well, really it doesn't. But anyway, if art is too much of a stretch, that's cool. Don't call it that. Just get out a piece of paper and something to make marks with. Play. You know, it's interesting, even play is a loaded word. I have to share that this all started for me, all this scribbling, when someone asked me what I do for fun. It was like the most stressful question, I'd say, for me at the time. I'm just like, fun? Who has time for fun? And I thought, you know, I really like color and I really like shapes. At the time I was doing style consulting and I was doing color analysis and I was helping people find shapes of clothing to match their body shapes. And I just thought, you know, maybe I can start doing colors and shapes on a page. I've asked for guidance here as well. Just into the ether, the energies of the universe. Just so I have some guidance in what to say here, where to scribble, what needs to be said and communicated. Communicated with color, communicated with shapes. Just communicated. These are all the yellows and oranges of these water-soluble crayons that I own. It's quite dark in comparison to the rest of them. It's me, and I check in with my body. I just sit and I see how it feels. I wonder to myself, does that create constriction? Does my body feel tense? Does it create a little bit of expansion? I guess for me, expansion means sort of calm or sometimes joy or I guess relaxation. Getting a little bit of this swooshy feeling of paint when I use my finger. It's interesting because sometimes when I do these scribbles, I like what I make. That's cool. I mean, to be honest, I much prefer that feeling. I like to like what I've created. Sometimes I don't like what I create. Maybe most times. Most of the time. I don't really like what I create in these sessions. I don't look at these scribble sessions as being about creating something that I like. Try as much as possible, actually. Just go with whatever I'm feeling. Not worry about what it is that's gonna come out of it. Because it helps me practice being in the flow of life, really. It helps me come into the now. It helps me practice how my body's feeling. So I often say that there is no purpose, meaning the outcome of this, the piece that's created, it doesn't mean anything at all. But you know, the process does mean something. So there is a purpose in the process, I guess. Okay, that is finished for me. If you like to think, oh, what does that look like? Let me know in the comments what you think it looks like. It's kind of reminding me of a rain cloud or a storm, a little bit in a way. That's my take on it.